What's cooking, folks? Vermillion Phoenix here, and today we're talking about the abandoned passage on Rift Lord, how to get 5 skulls on it. You'll notice there's a lot of changes to this map that make it quite a bit more difficult than it was in War Mage. First of all, we have two types of bats now, two flyers. They are frost bats and hell bats. Hell bats are immune to fire, frost bats are immune to ice. So if, like me, you're prone to bringing in Ice Amulet for crowd control or burst damage, you won't be able to use that on the frost bats. Because of that, I kind of prioritize taking them down personally with the Blunderbuss. I prefer the Blunderbuss here, mainly because of how small the enemies are, and I hate using projectile weapons against enemies that are moving themselves, because that just adds extra sort of accuracy, training, and hitting those targets. And you know, any misses basically means wasted time, even with the Blunderbuss. So you want to try to land those headshots, you want to try to hit them as soon as possible. And I kind of rush this right gate just to take down the frost bats. If the frost bats hit you with their projectiles, you freeze, and that loses you time in being able to fire your weapons, reload, move, like everything's just bad. So they kind of need to die as soon as possible. The ballista are extremely good at shooting down lanes. For this particular level, I have them with increased range, and that really matters. They will shoot targets that are super far away. If you place them in the little openings, there's like tiny gaps in the ceiling that allow you to shoot across the wall towards the flyers as they're coming out of their gates. It will help you a lot. It will also be able to target both the ground units and the flyers at the same time, which makes them really vital in trying to get a fast clear time here. And par is really what's working against you. You can't leave anything to chance. You don't want any slows in the rear area near the front door where all the walkers are coming in, because that will lower your par. You kind of want them to get to your kill box as soon as possible. I like using ceiling lasers here primarily because they will damage both the bats, because there are no shock bats on this level. They'll hit the flyers and the ground units, and with just about 3 or 4 of these, you can funnel all the ground units into pretty much certain death. You'll only have to deal with a couple of the heavies, maybe some heavy orcs, ogres, and the trolls that are in the level, and you will want to pay special attention to the range units. If you're fighting on this little bridge causeway that leads to your stairs, they will stop across the waterway there, and they'll just start shooting at you. Now, what that means is that they stop pathing towards the traps, and that means that it will cost you par time. You have to kill them as soon as possible. On the first 2 levels, not that big of a deal, but or first 2 waves, I should say. But when you get to the later waves, you'll notice that they will just stand over there taking pot shots at you, and it's bad overall. You want to rush towards your rift if you need some healing. The rift is really close on the first couple of levels from where I like to play, so healing isn't a super big deal if you don't want to bring the healing trinket. It will lower your health, so it'll make it a little bit easier for you to die, but it's not super important. Now here you'll see me just gunning down one of the archers to prevent things from slowing down a bit. And you'll notice that some of the flyers are kind of going around where we have the lasers set up here. The lasers serve a couple of purposes for the flyers. They're not guaranteeing that they're all going to die when they fly through the lasers, because the flying units are actually small enough in some cases where if they path correctly, they can just fly in between the lasers. The lasers aren't like a cure-all for them. Trying to spam the lasers specifically to take out the flyers is a bad idea. You're going to use up a ton of money trying to make sure that it deals enough damage to the full-bodied flyers, the fat flyers I like to call them, and it's just not good. You would be better off using that to make sure that you could take care of the grounded enemies, because that gives you more time to focus on the flyers, since they no longer become an issue. So that's basically what I do here. We set up another laser just to deal with the ground units, and they have another Arcane Brimstone to work through. That pretty much makes it so that I have to worry about just about none of them. Like, there's a couple of gnolls that come through here with their grenades. We just take them out quickly because they don't matter really. They're there just to kind of kill you, and if you dodge left and right, as they throw the grenades, just, you know, sort of shimmy a little bit, you can see where the grenade's coming from, and it'll pick whatever trajectory you are currently moving in, and you know, you just change direction. As long as you're not super close to the gnolls, you should be fine, or not paying attention. If they catch you from the back, then they might hurt a little bit. But as long as you can keep an eye on them, you should be fine, just able to dodge the nades. Other than that, you'll see that you know, I'm kind of waiting until the enemies get under the ceiling lasers, and then I'm freezing them so they get trapped in place. Make sure that they continuously take a decent amount of damage rather than pass through everything, and you know, me having to deal with them personally. So the ballista are pretty much 100% the key to this map. You want to sort of place them down lane with the flyers. Their increased range will make it so that even though they are shooting at flyers, they will fire at some of the walking enemies as they come down and deal damage to them as well. So it works out really well. The trick to this level isn't so much the ceiling lasers as it is the ballista. The flyers will give you a lot harder time. There's other setups that you can use to take out the grounded enemies here. You can move some traps toward the wall and take them out over there. I just prefer this particular ceiling laser setup just because it's able to deal a little bit of damage to that gate that has the initial frost bats, and that helps me out with just, you know, not having to deal with full health flyers coming towards the rift, and they will do that if you give them an opportunity to. Those ballista kind of save the day there, and for the most part that's it. Like the hardest wave in this level, I would definitely say, is the first one. Just getting enough damage out to kind of wither the walking enemies and the bats at the same time is a little bit difficult, and you'll see, just to make sure that I'm clearing the rear areas and placing some additional traps over where these ground enemies will be coming out of. I'm really not worried about the flyers after those ballista are up. They are really good at taking them out, and you'll find that using a mix of ballista and ceiling lasers is pretty good against them. Just trying to use the ceiling lasers and spam them, I have always found to be problematic. Ceiling lasers are a great trap, but they're not a cure-all. So just remember that if you're particularly in love with the ceiling lasers, you want to make sure that you can make up for their weaknesses, that being enemies that are either immune to lightning, which you will run into, or enemies bobbing and weaving in between them. Either way, let me know what you guys think of the clear. If you have any comments, feel free to drop those below. If you want to catch me live, feel free to subscribe to my Twitch channel, which is just twitch.tv/VermillionPhoenix, all one word. And yeah, I will catch you guys in the next video. You'll be seeing more from me soon. Either way, thanks as always, and until next time, have a good one, folks. Peace.